This is the MLW Radio Network.
Welcome, everybody, to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I am your temporary tour guide and stepdaddy extraordinaire, Adam Bernard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind, man?
Hey, another week here in the Mind of the Meanie. With not Josh.
We're going on like a month and a half. This is cool, man. I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love Josh.
It's good.
But, this is going pretty good. Like,
replacement. You'll do.
Yeah, you're right. My, I can't even think of the word for mistress. My Kumar.
Your hall pass.
Yeah.
Your Guma. There you go. Yeah. That's a good word for it. A nice Sopranos reference.
Yeah.
How's it going out there in Philly land, man?
Feeling a lot better, man. Last week I felt like microwaved shit. Just
that's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Microwaved baby shit. That's what I felt like. Yeah, dude.
That's gross.
I loved that whole Alaska trip, but it really did a number on me. Flying out there is like for the first, going out there. First flight's 4 hours, second flight's 4.5, 4 hours 50 minutes, whatever. With layovers and stuff like that, and it was my first time traveling, like that, right off the bat.
Jeez.
You would think I would ease my way in, with a nice little 2-hour commuter flight. No, I'll start my first flight in the apocalypse with a fucking trip to Alaska. So I get back. I'm feeling okay. And then, like, Wednesday, you ever have that moment where you just feel like he just comes over, you're like, oh, I feel like shit. Like, there's one point on, like, a Wednesday, it just washed over me like, Jennifer Beals pulling the string and Flashdance and the water hits her. Just, So, we were recording the episode and I was really no-selling it, but like over the weekend I was like, Jesus Christ. And starting like yesterday was like when I really started feeling like a human being again. And here I am now. Inside baseball, we're doing this Thursday. Tomorrow I'm driving 5.5 hours up to Port Henry, New York for Brother Gather to do our in-store for the new Mind of the Meanie Wrestle Buddies. So
awesome.
I am a glutton for punishment. Just
it should be a fun ride, though. I mean, driving to upstate New York's not too bad, right? I mean, it's not a terrible ride, but
what's good about it is it's a straight shot. I mapped it out, and it's straight shot. So I've been texting back and forth with the folks for Brother Gather, and they're like, "Well, if you come a little early, we could do lunch." I was like, "You had me at lunch." So.
That's awesome, man.
Well, what's cool, I'm looking forward to doing this. I never had a wrestling buddy. In 2021, I went from like having no merch other than T-shirts to now, I have a couple lines of action figures. I have a wrestling buddy. I'm in a video game. I'm in a video game that's on an actual cabinet. And now I'm going to grab it, try to grab a bunch of the Wrestle Buddies, because then the following week we'll be at Icons.
That's right. I will absolutely be there. And by the way, I want to let everybody know, too, this was a last-minute sort of jump in for me. Josh was unavailable today, and we are thinking about him and his family right now.
Absolutely.
And, hopefully everything is good, and hopefully Real Daddy will be back next week. But if not, I am here. Dude, that's amazing. I can't imagine what that must be like to have all kinds of like merch and things like that, just sort of happening all at once. It's really quite amazing.
Dude, it's awesome. Going through your career, you think you have a good career, and you hear fans say good things, but then there's always that one dickhead that says, he was nothing but a jobber," and then you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
But then, you get these companies that were, hey, we would love to invest in a product with your likeness. And that's really cool. So, between Figures Toy Company, between Cella Toys, now Brothers Gatter, and Retrosoft Studios, we're making Retromania. Dude, life goals complete, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, so
that's my goal is after the appearances here on Mind of the Meanie is to have my own Cella Toys action figure. If anyone's listening at Cella Toys, you can go ahead and hit me up. It'll be an easy transition because I look just like Josh, so you just have to put a CM Punk shirt on me and be fine. It's fine. So I want to shout out the Pod Squad before we get into talking. Sorensen Level, hashtag Sorensen Level.
What up?
Happy birthday, brother.
Yeah,
I did not know that. So happy birthday. We want to make sure we get that right on the pod here. Hello to our friends out there in Pod Squad land. We are excited to have you back for another episode of this fantastic program that you are listening to at this moment. But, Meanie, I got to tell you, to start off the show, I almost fell out of fucking bed the other morning, man. I almost fell out of bed in the morning.
There's a joke there, and I won't go there.
I understand what you're saying, talking about my penis. Yes, of course. And always, if you want to make sure that your balls are looking fresh, I don't know if they're sponsoring us this week, but Manscaped, you want to get down there and make sure your balls look nice. I was mentioned in a tweet.
Promo code Meanie20.
Meanie20?
Yes.
Promo code Meanie20. I was mentioned in a tweet this week by CM Punk. And I couldn't believe it. I think the one thing that sort of like stands out for me about this entire thing is the fact that Josh and I were just fucking around on Twitter, just talking shit. And my shit post ended up screen grabbed on CM Punk's phone back in like July.
He had to make a folder for that and everything,
He had to probably like favorite that shit. Like there's no way you could just recall that right away. Like that's got to be sitting on your mind for a while, right?
Yeah.
And it was 2 days before the guys at Fightful reported that he was signing a deal with AEW. I must have just blanked and had no idea that it was there. And even if I had to pull it down,
yeah, I think you're bearing the lead here. What you said a certain thing.
Yes,
you would
I did.
Do if
I would eat my shoes.
You would eat your shoes if CM Punk came back to wrestling.
I would, and I said I would eat my shoes. My exact words were, so let me give you a little story and context. We're watching Money in the Bank, and I'm live tweeting Money in the Bank, because sometimes I do that. From time to time, I'll do it, because I'm a shit poster. And I was listening to the fans chant CM Punk, and I'm going, just stop, guys. Like, stop tweeting or stop screaming this. He's never coming back. Because that's been the line, right? He's always said that he was never coming back, and it was never going to happen, and that was going to be it. And Josh, friend of the show, Josh Chernoff, decides he wants to jump in on this and says, hey,
friend of his own show.
A friend of his own show, of course. I'm actually going to pull the tweet up right now as we speak about it. I tweeted, these fans chanting CM Punk, please stop. He's not coming back. I'll eat my shoes live on here if he does. Hashtag MITB. Josh replies, hey, CM Punk, please come back. Just for like a second. Just so This Is Goober will have to eat his shoes. I feel like you get a kick out of that. Fans get to see you, and we get to watch him eat shoes. Win-win. I reply, I swear to God, Buddha, and Run the Jewels, I will eat my shoes. So this was July 19th at, I guess it was 7 o'clock or whatever it was that I tweeted it. And it looks like, according to the photograph, CM Punk screen grabbed this at the time it was tweeted. So he gets involved. Fightful decides, and I just blank because I'm posting all kinds of shit on Twitter. And CM Punk tweets at 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday or Monday, or maybe it was after Labor Day. I can't remember when it was exactly. It is time to address this with the screen grab of my comments on his Twitter. My phone practically exploded with replies and mentions and shit. Apparently, he tweeted it and deleted it, which is something that I guess he does often. I'm not really sure, but he tweets and deletes it, but long enough to have a screen grab.
Like a hit it and quit it?
Yeah, like a hit it and quit it thing. Yeah, I'm out of here. Yeah, here's,
tweet and
clean
delete.
up and Yeah, and be gone.
I'll get you a towel.
Calling you a cab right now.
Yeah.
So he
here's an egg McMuffin.
So he tweets, deletes, and it makes the rounds. So I'm just fucking dying, man. I'm like, I can't believe, CM Punk's got 2.5 million followers, right?
Yeah.
How much nonsense people tweet at CM Punk all day long, right? And he screen grabs this conversation between Josh and I, and it's like, what the fuck, you know? And then I start getting news alerts that Wrestling Inc. is sharing the story, and Cultaholic, and like all these major sites are sharing the story, and they're calling me a fan, which I'm not. I'm a host of a podcast. Thank you very much. I'm a photographer. I am a fan, but I'm also a host of a podcast. Thank you very much. Notable figure. Thank you. And no, I'm just kidding. And they were sharing the story, and I have to eat shoes now, Meanie, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't get out of it. I got to do it.
Soul man.
Now, are we singing the real song or are we singing the Blues Brothers? Because there's a little bit of a difference.
What's the difference?
On Soul Man. Thank you. No, that Belushi record bangs, man. I have that on vinyl. No, but I mean, I look, I got to boil a pair of leather shoes and I'm going to have to eat it live. A man's got to have a code. And I said I was going to do something, so I got to do it.
You got to up the ante a little bit, like maybe do something for charity or something like that.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought
maybe donate to Paws in Chicago or something like donate to one of his charities or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, CM Punk, if you're listening to this show, which I hope you are, let's link up, man. Tony Khan, AEW, Fight. Any of you guys listening, let's link up and make something cool happen because I will eat my shoes for charity. And Meanie will be there with me, and he will watch.
Worn shoes, or are you going to buy like a pair of new ones? And
well, I got to see.
Are you going to eat a pair of Bobos, or are you going to eat some Air Force Ones?
I'll eat a pair of Chucks. Yeah, and remember those G-Unit sneakers from back in the day? If anybody's got a real gnarly pair of them, I'll cut off a slice of that and hunk it up. No, I mean I was genuinely surprised.
A pair of British Knights.
British Knights. PF Flyers.
Without the BK button, the shoe ain't nothing. British Knights.
Give me some of those pumps. Remember the Nike pumps? Is that what they were? Yeah. The air pumps on the front?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Give me some of those.
Cena brought those back, right?
Who was that?
Cena brought the pump sneakers back when he would do the... I don't know if it was that specific brand, but like he would do something. He would like pump his sneakers up before he would do a move or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
In the early, Marky Wahlberg days of John Cena's gimmick.
I had a good time having a nice chuckle with you guys in a group chat though about this. Man, I got to do it, man. So listen, we should definitely set something up, Meanie and Josh. If you're listening out there in Wonderland, we would love to work with the guys on Fight Team because Fight shared the story too. Fight shared it on a tweet. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Listen, this is gonna happen, isn't it? So listen, guys, if you're gonna share the tweet, let's do something fun for charity. Let's make something cool happen and raise a ton of money for people who need it. Right? We'll do something for the folks in Texas who need it right now. We'll do something for Paul's in Chicago. Let's do something cool here. But I couldn't go through the beginning of the show and not address that.
I would too. You became headline news. This feels like the time I was driving through Philly, and me and Al Snow went to the gym, and we're on the elliptical machines. And as we're on the elliptical machines, we're watching the afternoon news, and there's a photo of Al on the TV. Them talking about him banning his figure at Walmart.
Oh, right, because of the head, right?
Yeah, and the whole day he's like, "Hey, Meanie, how do you feel like? How's it feel to be driving with headline news right now?" So now CM Punk called you out on you saying you would eat a shoe, one shoe or two shoes.
I said I would eat my shoes, so I at least have to eat a piece from both of my shoes.
So I'm currently recording with headline news.
There's also going to be some fun merch over at prowrestlingtees.com/mind of the meanie that has to do with this and this particular logo that's going to be incorporated into an Eat the Shoe logo. Thanks to our dear friend Andy Schlichter, who is working on that as we speak. And we should hopefully have that. We should hopefully have that up by the time the show airs, or maybe before. But yeah, I mean, look, guys, it's fucking cool that, like, you know, one of my favorite wrestlers in the entire world, like, called me on my shit post. Like, that is hilarious. I'm really enjoying all of the fun comments and tweets. Like, I made it onto Reddit subreddit called Squared Circle. They've been just like dragging me for all the shit I've been saying, and you know, like, it's hilarious. You know, it's good natured and it's fun. Like, it was just a fun tweet, and you know, I'll tell you right now, I am absolutely stoked that CM Punk is back. I think it's a great thing for wrestling. I'm very excited, and it's the best. Somebody tweeted at me, it's the best reason yet to be wrong, and I'm just hyped to be there. But Meanie, let's get back to the mind of the Meanie here.
Yeah,
you also broke the fucking internet this week, man.
Oh,
so
yes.
I guess let me start by saying, I guess you broke kayfabe, because aren't you and JBL like mortal enemies? Like, it's death on sight, right? Death before dishonor.
Yeah, man, we hate each other.
Right. I mean, so like, what the fuck happened? Have we been lied to this whole time? No, I'm just kidding. No. So yeah, you were on Gerald Briscoe's show and Bradshaw. You were on their podcast, and you had a really cool conversation about, you know, life. And I guess you touched on the forbidden topic, if you will. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, this week I'm on Stories with Briscoe and Bradshaw. Listen wherever you can find podcasts. And yeah, had a good time. Yeah, this, like I've said, you know, sometimes when things happen, people always remember the initial headline. They never see the follow-up story or the retraction. So everybody knows for all these years that, you know, something happened at ECW One Night Stand, you know, between me and Bradshaw. But then there's a subsequent angle and match, and I went over and all this stuff. And I've been on countless shoot interviews and podcasts talking about how me and him made up. But for whatever reason, it seems like it never made the rounds. Like, nobody bothered to look up to, you know, see, I wonder what's going on with those two now. You know, everybody's got to, you know, remember when Bradshaw beat up Meanie? You know, as if it hurts my feelings. And it's like, yeah, you know, we made up 16 years ago. So,
Right.
Yeah, Gerald Briscoe reached out and said, you know, we got the podcast. You want to come on? I said, absolutely. And, you know, talk about the group chat. There's a group chat with me, Briscoe, and JBL, you know, about doing the show and stuff like that. And, yeah, I went on and the other day, and we had a really good conversation. You know, the fun part, you know, was, you know, Briscoe being the spoon that stirs the pot. And, you know, I went in with the whole thing. I was like, hey, man, let's break the internet with us doing a podcast together, and B, let's not even address what happened and just talk about everything else. But you know, good old Gerald Briscoe, the man I love and the man who loves to stir the shit. He dove right in and, you know, got us to talk about. And you know, me and Bradshaw, JBL. I mean, we talked our differences out 16 years ago in Sacramento. We went to a room, you know, after everything happened. You know, they flew me out to Sacramento, and me and him went into a room and talked it out, buried a hatchet. But like the last 16 years has been me. It's like Groundhog's Day, you know, reliving the same day every day, where people go, "Oh, these guys are cool." Yeah, we're cool. So, yeah, and then we're talking on the podcast about, you know, the incident. And then, like, I had to try to remember everything because, you know, once you bury the hatchet with somebody, you just kind of forget everything that happened, you know? Somebody said, he apologized and, you know, shook hands, and he helped me make some money, you know, out of the deal. You know, he's like, you know, we could fight or we could make money. I was like, dude, all right,
let's make some fucking money, man.
Let's make some money. And, you know, I you know, when we had our talk, I said, you did this, that, and the other thing. I didn't pull any punches. I said everything he did. And to his credit, he said, you know, he didn't remember any of it. And, you know, but, you know, the best feeling in the world is to actually get if you're ever having a beef with somebody, just approach them. My fault is back when everything was happening in WWE, I probably should have just pulled them aside and said, man, what's the deal? I'm getting this vibe, and
right.
So can you take it a little easy in the ring? Stuff like that. Everybody's got perfect. Everybody's got 20/20 hindsight. Everybody's a expert in hindsight.
Oh, sure, absolutely, yeah.
So my deal is I probably should have said, hey, can we go talk somewhere? But I just did everything in my. When I was there, when I was in WWE from 98 to 2000, my whole thing was trying not to rock the boat, trying not to bring any negative attention upon myself, which I kind of slipped on the banana peel a couple times when it came to that. But, and then once we got into the room in Sacramento in 2005 and talked it out, the best feeling was, him going, hey man, I'm glad you're here. Let's make some money with this. So, and we did. And, that period of time between 2002, 2005, was really rough for me, emotionally and, all around. I had just lost my grandma. I was in a shitty relationship. When I was running a wrestling promotion and that kind of went to shit. And this perfect storm of shit just happened all at once, and then the one night stand thing happened. That was like the fucking cherry on top of a shit Sunday.
Yeah. I can imagine, man.
But there's always a silver lining with shit like this. And as bad as shitty as the one night stand incident was, it kind of pulled me out of this doldrum I was in, this pit of emptiness that I was living in. I was depressed. I was drinking a lot. But, this thing happened and people rallied around me. And I went from thinking that the world hated me to there's actually people who cared about me because this, pretty public thing happened. So, out of something bad came something good. And then, through, making up with John, I've been able to do some pretty good things. Like we addressed on the podcast, his podcast, 2015, he tried to get me in the Royal Rumble in Philly.
Wow.
He lobbied to be the surprise in the Royal Rumble in Philly. Why not? It's in Philly. It's in ECW land. At the time, I just filmed a DVD, ECW on Release Volume 3 with Stevie Richards and Joey Styles. What perfect way to say, ladies and gentlemen, not only coming in the ring, ECW original and host of ECW on Release, now available in all stores, the Blue Meanie, perfect cross promotion. But they went with Bubba, and I totally understand, and no problems with that. But it just it was cool to get on the podcast and talk about it, and just seeing people's reactions to it. It's like, you guys made up, yeah,
like a long time ago,
time ago. Okay, our beef with Scott, our peace treaty is so old. It's starting junior high. It's it's a junior in high school or whatever.
Wow.
I forget what the ages are now, but yeah, it was just cool to get on there, talk, and share the clips that they've been posting now, and just watching people react to it all over again, because we buried the hatchet, and here we are. It's 2021. Like I said, it's probably one of the better years. I got a line of toys. I'm in a video game. I'm blowing people's minds, on JBL's podcast, because people are just realizing again that we're cool.
Is it weird to still know that you're sort of part of this folklore about JBL, or just in general, with you guys having something that happened, because obviously you're an ECW original and, there's all that, the history behind that and the promotion and everything. But here you are now as part of this story with JBL. I mean, things have been said about him here and there, and a lot of it has been brought up from time to time. But like here you are with a legitimate situation that happened to you,
right?
And it's just sort of crazy, like legit heat. Now, is it weird for you to still think about that, or like I would imagine it's probably pretty tiring to hear that same question over and over again, though, right?
Yeah, well, it's like what. I understand that he's got beefs with other folks, but that's between them,
Right.
Just as much as I don't like people talking about my shit with him, especially if they're in the business.
Yeah.
Fans can say whatever they want, because they're fans, and they buy the tickets. They're entitled to their opinion. But me being one of the boys, being in the business, I'm sure there are people in the business who have their issues with him, and that's between them. My deal was with me, because when the whole one night stand thing happened, right? I didn't go around telling people pick sides. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's, I had friends who were friends with him, and they were friends with me. They were friends with him, because the issue was between me and him. So it wouldn't be fair for me to go, well, you can't be friends with him, and you can't be friends with me if you're going to be friends with him, because that's childish.
That's not how it works either, right? Now, no. I want to make sure I go back on something I just said as far as legitimate. Like,
sure,
I wasn't there. I don't know what happened between Bradshaw and some of these other guys, and I would never downplay anybody's issues or anything. I want to make sure I was clear on that, because when I say legitimate, I mean like you guys had a shoot, right? I mean that's what I mean by legitimate. But I mean again, like it's the same thing in life. Like I have people in my circle that people have opinions about. I know people have opinions about me, and I have my friends and people who don't like me, but I would never ask anybody to pick sides because, someone's got a beef with me or a gripe or whatever. It just is what it is. You just have to keep it moving. And I'm glad that you guys were able to hash it out as long as you were. And it was a really cool thing to see you guys together. And, obviously Briscoe is in there is cool. One thing I do want to maybe talk about was,
sure.
And I again, as far as like Stevie Richards is concerned at the end of the match, like, do you remember that chair shot at the end of the match?
I heard it.
And what did he say? Like, obviously you guys are communicating in the ring. Like, was he in any lucid, like, knocked out state, or like, because I think there's some kind of idea that people have about that where, got his fucking bell rung from that chair shot. But like, what was the initial reaction while you're in the ring? Like, do you have to improvise? Like what happened sort of immediately after that?
As far as in the ring, like, I didn't know. I'll say that, like, I wasn't aware that like how bad the chair shot was. I heard it,
right,
and then all I knew is chair shot. He's feeding into the DDT. I do the meanie salt, and it wasn't until like I hit the meanie salt, and then I tried to do like the deep pin with the hook in the leg, 1, 2, and then when I rolled off of him, I looked down on my side and I saw blood. So I thought it was. I started, when you see blood, you start, patting yourself down, like, where my cut? Yeah, I'm checking myself. And then it dawned on me that he was hard weighed. So,
wow.
We go through with the rest of the match, pin him. Batista comes in, Batista bomb, puts me on top, 1, 2, 3. I roll off, on him. On my way, as the 3 count, I roll over and, thank him for the pin as I'm rolling off him. And then go to the back, and then we start hearing he was hard weighed, and me, Stevie, and Nova went up to John. Hey, you okay? He said, guys, John was like, it's a potato. These things happen, man. It's cool, and no worries. And we're like, you sure? You okay? Absolutely, I'm fine. And he had a towel on his head, and the doctor was about to stitch him up and stuff like that. And John, to his credit, even said, hey, Meanie, why don't you go on the your website, your blog or whatever, and just say that was a receipt, Oh,
wow.
And I wrote a little thing saying that was my lawyer that hit him over the head or something goofy. I tried to be slick with it, and it was totally
right.
I said something really corny about it. And he gave me full permission to go. Hey, go online and say that you shot on us, or that was a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Now
funny,
to that story, I found out like years later that there was like a very prominent person in the higher ups that reached out to John and was like, "Hey, you okay?" Yeah. And John's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm talking about that chair shot. Are you okay? Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm fine. It's a potato. It was an accident. He's like, "Do you want me to do anything about it?" And John, to his credit, said, "No, it was an accident. Stevie's a good guy. Leave him alone." And somebody was trying to gauge John's reaction to possibly fire Stevie over the chair shot. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, somebody very prominent was mad about it, but John was cool about it. He was like, "Yeah, man, it was an accident. Shit happens."
Wow. Holy shit. I didn't realize it was like that, man. It's again, if you guys are all cool about it and it looks like a receipt, everybody who's a smart mark or whatever probably saw it that way, but holy shit, man. Again, it's a great interview. A lot of the love from the pod squad here talking about the interview. Sorensen, #Sorensen level loved it so much that he listened to it twice.
Awesome.
I would definitely recommend going out and checking it out. It's fantastic. It's a lot of great information on there. There's a story about blue balls, which you'll have to go ahead and listen to if you want to check it out, because I won't divulge it here. But you have to go ahead and listen to it. So Meanie, what else is going on, man? What else is going on? I know we talked about Icons of Wrestling, which is coming up not this weekend, but the following weekend at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. I will be there. I know Meanie will be there as well. I'm obviously a nobody. I'm just going to be there meeting DDP and hopefully Bubba Ray Dudley. And I'll be hanging out with Meanie for a while. What's on the docket for you while you're there?
I'm very excited. I invited Giovanni Hamilton.
Awesome.
To come out. Philadelphia Eagles super fan, Giovanni Hamilton, former guest, past guest, not former guest, he was a guest. So that it still counts here on the Mind of the Meanie. Very inspirational kid. They just announced they're coming out with a limited run Giovanni Hamilton bobblehead, which I just pre-ordered.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's really cool, man.
Yeah,
That's
limited.
Really cool.
It's limited to 2120 bobbleheads, with proceeds going to the Zach Ertz Foundation. Well, Zach Ertz's family has a foundation, the Ertz Foundation. So proceeds are going to the Ertz Foundation. So it's like $25. I went and bought it or pre-ordered it today. Should be here in December. But Giovanni Hamilton's a huge wrestling fan. We both love football. We both love the Eagles. We both love pro wrestling. And he's going to be in town the next day anyway for the Eagles home opener against the San Francisco 49ers. And I was like, "Hey, man, you're going to be in the area. You want to come be my guest?" And he's so excited, and I'm so happy for him. And, I'm going to take him around and introduce him to the boys and stuff like that. So, awesome, if you get a chance, check out his podcast. Giovanni's killing it, man. He interviewed what's his name? He just had Rich Eisen on his podcast.
I was gonna say that's a big fucking deal, man.
Yeah.
That's a real big deal.
Yeah, he's doing great things. The kid's only 13, you know. So he's very level-headed. Very inspirational, even though he's going through a lot of stuff. He's 13, 14 years old. He's had over 20 surgeries, and you wouldn't know it, And there's people I know that, stubbed their toe and, what was me? It's like, shut up, you fucking baby. You ain't got real problems. Giovanni's got problems, and he's got a smile, and he's very inspirational. So it'll be good to see him. It'll be good to, and Gerald Briscoe's going to be at the 2300 Arena for Icon. So
nice.
it'll be good to see him as well. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. If you're coming out, make sure to come see me. I just loaded up on some BWO shirts. Especially if you're a wrestling fan on the big size, I mean, if you're meanie sized. You know, the biggest complaint I get, you know, not complaint, but like I go to these not podcasts, these conventions. Sorry, first day with the new brain. And I'll say, you know, first thing is all the big guys come over and they want a shirt, and usually the big guy shirts are the first to go. But I stocked up. You know, I'll have the BWO shirts. I got some on my 8x10s. I got these really cool Blue Meanie trading cards from WrestleLoot that they sent me a bunch of. I'll have a bunch of good stuff there. Me and Mrs. Meanie will be there in full regalia. You know, these conventions are our lifeline. Not our lifeline, but like I love doing conventions just because they feel like high school reunions. You know.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to a wrestling show, it's great to see the guys, but then you're also in worker mode where you're thinking about, you know, what you got to do that night, and usually you don't get to wind down until afterwards, and after the show everybody's either half gone or, you know, not hanging out. But convention, you're just hanging out, man, and you know, you're seated next to whoever and just reminiscing and catching up, and there's no politics. It's just everybody just hanging out, you know. Oh, man, I can't believe I got to do the job tonight, or, oh, man, I can't believe they want me to go 30 minutes, or, no, hey, man, what you doing? Hey, man, how you doing? You know, so it'll be a good time. Come out to Icons, say hello to the blue guy, you know, shake my hand. We'll do some meanie dancing. We'll take some selfies. You know, we'll have some fun. But yeah, man, it'll be good to finally meet you in person. Have we met in person?
We have not, but I know for sure. I have to go back into my Facebook messages because I believe I invited you to my bachelor party in 2012.
Really?
I'll have to go back and find the message. But I guess I found you on Facebook and I was like, holy shit, the Blue Meanie. So I friended you and you accepted. So I was like, rad, this is great. And then I was like, oh, we're going to do something in Atlantic City. I was like, you know what? I'm going to invite the Blue Meanie. See if he's going to show up. But I don't know if you read it or responded. But no, this will be the first time we've met in person. So I'm excited to meet you there.
Facebook is weird. I'm going to say
this. It is, man.
I'm going to say this right out loud. Facebook is fucking weird.
Yeah,
just
dude.
for the fact that, like, people send me messages, and I get them, but then, like, there's this whole other subsect of Messenger where, like, I'll go in there, I'll be like, holy shit, there's all these messages I didn't see, and it's like, from years ago, people reaching out to me is like, and these people are thinking I'm no-selling them. So you might have sent me something. It probably went to the super secret kayfabe folder. I have no idea it was there.
You know what? Let me see. I'm going to pull it up right now while we're doing this live on the show.
While you're doing that,
I don't have the message anymore.
God damn it! While you're doing that, like the other day, you know, I just got like a bunch of birthday messages people sent me that oh, so-and-so wished you a happy birthday. Oh, my God, it's September. My birthday's in May. I'm glad it made it look like I was a dick. You know?
Not answering to anybody. Yeah, no, it's a really, I'll tell you, I had messages like one of those message requests for, so a close friend of mine died in September 2014. And like a month or two later, I got a message from some guy in like fucking Sweden. Like, so my buddy Jeremy owned this company. He ran this company called Franklin Instrument, and they made all the clocks you saw on like HBO and all those different like TV shows, like all the Sopranos. His company supplied all those clocks to the stations, and they made them. And he did a lot of work. He was developing products in like Hong Kong and some places in Europe and things. And he was traveling a lot, and he died very suddenly. And then I got this message, and he was like, oh, you know, I know that you're friends with Jeremy Fisher, and I'm just trying to reach some people about some business things. And, you know, can you get back to me? I didn't know what to do. I called his you know, his fiance, and I called his, you know, one of our like mutual friends that he did work with. And I was just like, what do I do with this? You know, like, do you guys even know who this guy is? You know? And it was just very bizarre, you know, and it's like a secret world inside of there, you know, all kinds of like old group messages from when Facebook used to be fun, and like all the different like groups and shit you used to get into. But yeah, I'm sure I have stuff that's filtered in there that I would have had no idea who any of these people are. But if you come out to see us, like I said, me Meanie and I will be there. We'll be at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia on Saturday, September 18th. The event starts at 10 o'clock. Besides the Blue Meanie being there, there's going to be a lot of really amazing guests. Kane will be there, Matt Hardy, Mark Henry, Rob Van Dam, Dave LaGreca and Bully Ray from Busted Open. DDP will be there. There's a big card here. Jeff Jarrett, who was one of my least favorite wrestlers growing up. In fact, probably my least favorite wrestler growing up. I'm excited to say hello to him as well. But there's going to be a bunch of cool people there. Tickets are still available, and they're also doing an event at the end of the show with Sabu and Rob Van Dam wrestling Matt Hardy and a secret opponent. So that wrestling event starts at 7:30 p.m.
Nice.
Pick up your tickets now at iconsofwrestling.net and come by and say hello to us. So, Meanie, what else is happening, man? What else is shaking in the mind of the Meanie up there?
You're not the only person that CM Punk tweeted. He was doing a little quick Q&A. Oh, I got an hour. Shoot me some questions. And as you know, CM Punk has just recently made an appearance on the very good show on Stars called Heels. It's about a little indie promotion in Georgia, Heels. And I knew he was coming up. And I was like, hey, man, I know you're doing Heels. What character on the show reminds you of anybody you've worked with in real life? And he just shoots back a little message saying Ricky Rabies, which is his character's name. He's like, I believe you worked with him before. I was like, I gotta watch this now, right? So I watched the episode, and the Jack Spade, the main character on the show, calls up Ricky Rabies, and the first words out of his mouth is, "What's your deal, man?" So in that moment, I kind of almost shed like a man tear, because that was a Tracy Smothers thing. With Tracy Smothers, who we unfortunately lost recently. Anybody who ever did a Tracy Smothers impersonation is like, hey man, what's your deal? Why don't I hate you? And start shadow boxing, because that's what he would do. He'd get hot at you and just want to fight you, And he worked that into the thing too, where Tracy would do like pre-ritual like shadow boxing, and he was doing that. So it was pretty cool to see CM Punk. Punk's a great dude, as everybody knows. Yeah. But just to see him pay tribute to a guy who, Tracy Smothers, who touched so many different wrestlers' lives and made them a whole hell of a lot better. It was very cool, and I'm a big fan of that show, Heels. It's been really good. Like I said, it's about this small town wrestling promotion in Georgia called the Duffy Wrestling League. And every time I watch this show, man, it reminds me of when I was growing up when I started training to wrestle in a small town in Ohio called Lima, Ohio, when I was training with Al Snow. Because we had our own building, we had our own school, we had like all these different things. I'm like, man, I'm watching. I'm like, man, this is all way too familiar. So yeah, that show's been a lot of fun to watch. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to catching up to it and catching up on it rather, and getting a chance to sit and watch. We've been kind of crazy with the move and packing everything.
I can imagine.
Most of my shit is going behind me now, so it's just boxes and signs everywhere. But yeah, I'm excited to catch up on that. We've both been graced by the blessings of dear CM Punk, so it's definitely been a good week for both of us for sure. Let's get into some questions. Let's ask Meanie.
I would love to.
And let me pull up first. While we're doing that, let's get our today. Actually, do you have your seltzer ready, sir?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
I have today. I have something a little bit stronger than the generic shit from the vending machine because they're out today. So I have this Bang Energy, which will give me energy through to probably about like 9:30, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is my favorite flavor here. They are not sponsoring us. I'm just putting them over because they're great, like the beverage itself. They're fantastic. This is Rainbow Unicorn, so it's delicious. What do you have today, Meanie?
I've been loyal to Ugly for the last few weeks, so I got Dr. Ugly, which is their Dr. Pepper flavored Ugly drink. Yeah, really good product.
I was gonna say, can you next week? I'm gonna text you before I head up there to Icons. I never had that. Can you bring me a can if you have one?
Sure. If you, I just
That's
prematurely.
all right, man. You just make the noise. 1, 2, 3. There it is. The essence, so good. I got some on my arm. Pinky's up. There she is. All right.
But
let's.
if you, to the folks, a little on breaking news on breaking ugly news. If you live in a town that has GoPuff, you can get ugly through GoPuff.
Interesting.
GoPuff is like you just look on the app and tell them what you want, and they bring groceries to your house, kind of thing. So
yeah, they're a really cool company. I'm familiar with them from working in Philly, but I've never actually used them. So I am excited to try them. Let's pull this up here. All right, let's start with this. Mark in Dryden has a bunch of questions for us today. So what are your opinions on this conspiracy theory? And are these two plausible? The Screwjob being a work, and Russo and Ferrara being sent to WCW by Vince McMahon to ruin it.
Dude, man, I've been back and forth on that Bret Hart, Montreal Screwjob being a work for so long now. It's just like, I could totally see where it was a work. Because here's the thing. People scream, oh, this is a work, that's a work, this is a work. Do yourself a favor. Anytime somebody says something is a work, try to think of what is the payoff of the work. Because if you're not working, basically you're just lying, But, if you're trying to work or manipulate something, the whole business will work. So, and the goal is to make people believe in the illusion and spend money and get involved in the storyline. But, with the whole, and people go, oh, well, Brett and Vince were, that was a huge work. And I say to myself, what's the benefit?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Brett's leaving the company. He's got to lose the belt, which he probably doesn't want to do, in his home country, which he doesn't want to do. And Vince, he came out of it, becoming one of the biggest villains in WWE history. So, Brett loses the belt, saves face in his home country, and goes off to WCW to make $1 bazillion and not lose any street cred by doing the job on the way out, He did the job without doing the job. And in hindsight, in retrospect, Vince becomes the biggest heel in the business. He was the biggest heel in the business that he controlled because it was him, So, there's plenty of benefits to that whole thing being a work. But on the flip side, I talked to people who worked in the company at the time, and I'm not talking about just wrestlers. I'm talking about people in production, behind the scenes folks, plenty of TV sat around in the bleachers, and so walk by. Hey man, how you doing? By the way, were you around when the Montreal Screwjob happened? And they're like, dude, that day was just a weird day. There was just like a weird vibe in the air. You just felt something. Kind of like when you walk into a bar and you feel like there's going to be a fight. Kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. They're like,
you walk into Penny Gardens in Philadelphia and you'll feel that right away. Like you don't have to go in the door,
Yeah. They're like, man, you just felt the whole day, something felt off. So it's a 50, flip a coin. There's days where I think it's a work, and then there's days where I think, it's probably a shoot. But then, I shout out to my boy Joe Dombrowski. Did a really cool documentary on the Montreal Screwjob called The Montreal Theory or something like that. But look it up, or I'll post about it. But like it's like a 2 DVD, like really long documentary on it. And it talks to people in the business, and talked about their views on it and stuff like that. So it is very cool. It's very cool. Was it a conspiracy? Like I said, flip a coin. I could definitely see where it was a work. I could totally see where it was a work. But then, you talk to people who have no stake in the thing. And they're like, I don't know, man. That day was just weird. So what was the second question?
About Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara being sent to WCW by Vince McMahon to ruin the organization.
You can almost think that was the conspiracy now with WWE releasing all this talent and all of them going over to AEW,
Yeah.
That in itself could be it. Let's start a conspiracy.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's say right here now on the Mind of the Meanie together that, Vince McMahon owns AEW. He owns a partial stake in AEW because it could be true because he owned a partial stake in ECW, right? I mean, anything's possible.
But I wouldn't even go that route. Just the fact that, I could see Vince going, all right, you call yourself a billionaire, pal. Let's see how much money you got.
Yeah.
Let's go through the budget. And
honestly, man, I got questions, bro. I got questions. I do. I mean, how much talent can they pick up before they hit their? I feel like they're already kind of at like that critical point. Like,
how big is the bubble going to get, and what's the bursting point?
Well, that's my thing. Is like, what are they going to do in the event that? Oh, I think one of my kids is doing a run in here. How big is the bubble going to get before it pops? I mean, if Bray Wyatt shows up, what happens then? Hold on one second. One of my kids is running in here. Do you want to say hi to the Blue Meanie? This is Danny. No? Okay. I'm doing a show, buddy. Hold on one second, okay? I know, buddy. I'm almost done, okay? I'll see you in a little bit.
Beat it.
Close the door, dude.
Get on the mic, you pussy. And
get on the mic, damn it. God damn it.
God damn it. Show yourself.
Meanie, it's good shit. No, I don't know. I don't know if,
okay.
I don't know, man. I really don't know because it's like, I have a lot of questions about the financials,
right?
And it's like, you're dumping money into an 8-figure video game, and they've said in that article in Forbes, like that they're in the red for the year and probably next year. Like, I don't know. I work in finance all day. I stare at spreadsheets and budgets and variance reports. That's what my job is. And it's like,
yeah,
it's valid questions. I want to know. I just have questions on what the balance sheets are and how this is all going to jive, and it's not a knock against AEW. It's just a general curiosity, with any business.
As somebody who's in the business, you got to think about this, because, I've been released because, hey, we got nothing for you. They weren't going to pay me to sit home, but
right.
There's only so many spots on a TV show. You got 4 shows, but here's the thing, getting back to my point of when you think something's a work, what's the benefit? Now, the benefit for WWE letting these guys go is it's not that they're not firing them and they're going to go work the indies. He's letting these good talents go to go off to make more money while he can reharvest the NXT deal and start making some homegrown talent. Then, because down the line, there's a really good at shoot interview out there with Al Snow and Hannibal. It's from a couple years ago. And look up the clip. It says Al Snow talks about Cody Rhodes leaving WWE. But while he's talking about Cody Rhodes, this applies to everybody. You can always go back.
Right.
To WWE. You can always go back. And all these guys who are going off to greener, what looks like greener pastures now with AEW, they're going to go over there. They're going to make a really good living. They're going to have excellent matches. They're going to stay relevant in the eyes of the public. With a whole, it's the same talent with different window dressing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Now, down the line, eventually these people are going to kind of, I mean, when you go to someplace new, it's like any relationship. Eventually, you start finding faults. Eventually, these people might go, man, you know what? I'd love to go back to Vince. And when they go back to Vince, they're seen in WWE through a fresh set of eyes. Even though they were over here, I mean, look at X-Pac. You know, he was
right.
He was a 1-2-3 kid. Hopped over to WCW for a little bit. 6-pack, cruiserweight champion. Got let go. Came back. And fucking got one of the biggest pops in the history of Raw, as a member of the NWO joining DX.
He's the only one in that time period when that happened. It was in both factions at the time that they were at their peak.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, to Vince, I mean, a lot of the talents he's had has been there. Like, the latest rumor is Kevin Owens is possibly jumping ship. And with that, I just saw a tweet from Kevin Owens where he said, here's a photo from 2015 of me working at Madison Square Garden. I'm like, man, that's 6 years ago. He's been with the company that long. He leaves WWE, go to AEW. It's kind of like a restart, fresh coat of paint, pal, as JR would say. He goes over there, puts on a fresh coat of paint, works a series of great dream matches over there, and then eventually, hey, I had a good run here. I've worked everybody. I've done everything I need to do. Mm-hmm. Shit, maybe I'll go back to Vince.
Let's have some fun. I mean, it's the same thing as it could be the similar situation as the Dudley Boys. I mean, obviously there was a whole different set of ball game, whole different components that happened with them when they left the company. But then they came back and they, it seemed like they were like, okay, we did everything. Bully Ray was the TNA champion and they had great runs everywhere else. And then they came back and it's like, okay, well, let's just have a good time. Let's have fun and see what happens.
And I also have to say this. There are people I've talked to who have had intimate conversations with Vince. And one of the main things Vince has said is he kind of regretted buying his competition. He kind of regretted buying WCW instead of letting another company just pick him up and buy him, because once he bought WCW, the creative spark kind of just fizzled,
Well, that's kind of my question and to loop back, and I promise we'll get back to Ask Minnie, but
sure.
A couple of things that I thought about while you were talking is as far as the flip side with WWE, it could be entirely plausible. He even said on the financial call, he's like, maybe we'll give them more talent. He could really be just being a dick and just letting obviously, like you understand the thought process, right?
Yeah.
As far as like when I said about the AEW financials, on the flip side of that, it's like, well, is Vince looking at them and going, okay, I know Tony Khan's dad is giving him a ton of money to use this business. Let's see how deep those pockets are, pal. Here's all these folks that are, in and out of this, the only one that I really struggle with still though is Bray Wyatt. That's one I think that sticks in my craw a lot. And I can't really figure out why he was let go. There doesn't seem to be a clear answer of why. And I'm sure eventually people will find out and it'll get talked about and it'll be beat to death like everything else. But like, that one is just like that was a very shocking set of circumstances. It was a very surprising thing to see tweeted out that morning. And I am curious to see where he's going to land. Is it possible?
I think we know where he's going to land, Like I said,
I think it's inevitable.
I already fantasy booked that they revived the Raven Sandman angle where, Bray Wyatt comes in and feuds with the Dark Order to, recruit.
Yeah.
Brody Lee's son, and they feud,
Ooh,
kind of redo that, your father was my true brother, kind of.
Oh yeah, I felt, and again, there is definitely truth to the fact where like I feel like Wyatt was creatively stifled in some ways with the Fiend and how things were being booked. Again, I preface all this by saying I've never booked a territory. I've never booked a wrestling show. I don't know anything about it, but it started to feel like some of the decisions were a little weird, and I don't know if you felt the same way, but it was looking at it from an objective lens. You're like, I don't know if I would have done this, but
again, look how long he was there. He
was there for like 11 years. Yeah, he was there for a really long time.
Fresh coat of paint, pal. Fresh coat of paint.
And I know that the story was Malachi Black, Aleister Black, or whatever you want to call him, Tommy End. I think that guy's going to be a big fucking star. And I've said that from the time I watched him. He's going to go to AEW. He's going to fucking kill it as Malachi Black. And then honestly, I think he eventually will come back to WWE and he'll be a top star, maybe one of the top stars.
I think with that will be the case with a lot of the talent. I think the hopes is they go to AEW, get some of that indie buzz, but on a national level, and hopefully come back. And you're talking about Vince, looking at, the cons and their financials. Here's the thing, WWE owns WWE.
Yeah.
Tony Khan and his father Shad, they own AEW. They own the Fullerton soccer team.
Soccer league. Yep.
Sorry for my friends overseas, football. British football, European football, whatever. I'm stupid. And then they also, own the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're spinning a lot of plates. And everything I'm saying, I'm not being a hater. I'm not,
Right. Yeah. Listen.
I'm looking
guys,
at this objectively. These are the things I think about when the power's out and I got to stare at the walls. But
well, I want to make sure I'm clear too. I have significant gripes with both organizations, and I'm pretty clear about that on my Twitter. I would ask these questions to Tony Khan and to Vince McMahon and any of the talent at WWE or AEW. That's who I am. These are the things that I also think about when the power's out and I'm staring at the wall, and it's just, these are general questions that we both have, and I'm not hating on anybody. I love that. To your point about the creative spark, I really hope that this Daniel Bryan stuff and the CM Punk thing and the Adam Cole and all of these acquisitions that AEW has just completed, I really do hope that it does create a brand new sort of attitude era creative spark that will allow the company to thrive in the way that it used to. I think a lot of times fans have this fantasy in their head that it's going to be as great as what we are accustomed to, and they're not willing to accept anything but that. So I think a lot of fans need to be a little bit more realistic and understanding with the fact that not everything is going to be the same as it was, But I'm not a hater. I'm not a shit talker or anything like that. I'm just generally curious. Like and in all intents and purposes, that's a big fucking investment to make in a video game, and as a brand new startup company. These would be questions that I would ask my asset manager if I'm at work and saying, hey, we have a concrete project that we need to complete in order to make sure that we have people parking in this garage, which is going to bring X amount of dollars of revenue. But now you're telling me we're going to spend a 6-figure investment on resurfacing the pool that doesn't need to be resurfaced right now because we haven't made any gross or net profit in the past 2 years. I have questions on that, and I'm gonna ask, what is the purpose of doing this right now? What's the ROI that you're looking at? And these are, again, financial questions that I have, but also the same thing with Vince McMahon. If you're making billions of dollars of profit, so far you are a successful business in the face of a pandemic. What are you releasing people for and saying it's for budget cuts while you're making record profits? What's the statistical information that you would provide for that? So I think there's a lot of questions that people have, but I don't necessarily believe any of that stuff as far as like Vince, owning stake or him sending Vince Russo to WCW. I mean, it just sounds like it's a lot of fantasy. It's cool to think and fantasy book this shit out, but I don't necessarily believe it.
Everybody's touting the ratings and the key demos and all that stuff. Winning your demographic and getting the advertising money, that should be the dessert. That should be the cherry on the top. That should not be your main course. Your main course should be putting people in the building. Eventually, you should hopefully start wanting to do live events, non-televised events, because that's where you're making the most money with the least overhead. Because when you're running TVs, you're bringing in production trucks, this, that, and the other thing. You're doing live events, just a ring and a barricade. And the rest is, if you fill that up, everything it's gravy, baby. That's the thing. That attendance, ratings are great, but attendance, ratings are great because you don't have to do anything. You just have to turn on the TV. But when you're making people decide to leave the comforts of their own home to sit with total strangers they probably wouldn't want to sit with in the first place. That's when you're making money. That's when you really have true success. When people are willing to leave their homes to come watch your product in person and not in the comfort of their own home. And, the shows they've been doing have been pretty good, and they've had really good attendance. But eventually, a lot of people from a lot of different parts of the country came around for All Out. That's their WrestleMania. So every year that event's going to sell the fuck out, no matter what.
Big time.
But excuse me.
That was a little seltzer kiss.
Yeah, But just when the meat of it'll be when you're doing it each and every week. Not just the TVs, but going to Fargo, South Dakota, and running house shows and stuff like that. Because when I was in WWE, I was making pretty good money just showing up to TVs, but I didn't make the real money until I started doing house shows and live events and stuff like that. So that'll be the thing to look at, because as great as winning the ratings are, that should be the dessert, not your main course. The main course is getting people into the building. Asses
in seats. That's the goal, right?
Meanie just ass every 12 inches, man.
Sassafras. Yeah. Hornets Beard Guy asks, "Hey, Meanie, when is This Was Extreme returning?"
Again, scheduling.
Damn.
You can see how we're doing over here with mine and DeMeanie, and our schedules conflicting with not Josh and myself. Josh has had a lot of great opportunities with Fight TV. Unfortunately, he has a personal matter this week. That's not for us to discuss. But my thoughts and prayers are with him. But it's scheduling. It's pure scheduling. And there's 3 folks who are very busy right now, and we want to do it. But it's just a matter of scheduling. It's as crazy as that sounds. It sounds easy. Just pick a day. But we each have something. We all have a lot of shit going on in our personal lives.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we do. We text every day. Okay, hey, Meanie, does Tuesday night work? Nah, it doesn't work. Let's try Thursday. I can do this time. It's just, it's the same thing as everything. So hopefully you guys will get some This Was Extreme episodes out there again soon, and everyone just be patient and wait and enjoy.
I want to do them. But
Ringside Rant asked, friend of the show, Ringside Rant asked, "Hey, Meanie, are you going to be at the next Top Guy weekend?"
Again, that's not up to me. If you would like to see the Blue Meanie at Top Guy Weekend, demand it, because have bags will travel. Have bookings will travel. If Conrad's kind enough to invite me out, I would love to.
I had the great pleasure of photographing the very first 83 Weeks live event in Baltimore, Maryland at Jimmy's Famous Seafood. And I got to meet Eric. I got to meet Conrad. It was fantastic. I am officially offering my photographic services for Top Guy Weekend 2022. Conrad, if you're listening, I would be happy to do it. And so demand that as well if you want to see me there. But you probably want to see Meanie more. But I would love to be there and help out. That would be pretty cool. It looked like a really good time. Like, I saw a lot of photographs and a lot of videos and shit. A lot of really cool surprises that showed up there. So it looked like a really awesome time. Yeah. So we'll see. Andy Schlichter. He's got 2 questions here for you.
Yes, dear.
First, what are your thoughts on Mick Foley's comments on AEW's All Out and towards the WWE?
His video where he said WWE, we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. I mean, they do have a problem. Again, of course, I just went on a whole thing about how I think Vince might be sending guys over there just to fucking inflate their fuck with their finances. But definitely, there's problems everywhere except NXT, because NXT seems to be the best product that they have, and now they're throwing a monkey wrench in that. Yeah. But I don't know how much that has to do with the fact that, unfortunately, Triple H just recently had a cardiac event, whichever that was. But Yeah, it just there's definitely the product is definitely stale. That product is stagnant. And again, hopefully, what AEW's doing is lights that spark that the '90s did, like with Ted Turner, and stuff like that. So who knows if Vince is trying to create his own competition with letting guys go over there, and it's kind of like when a baseball team or a football team starts trading off its main players to kind of like blow up the team and rebuild a team from scratch. Through the draft and stuff like that. We see it all the time. Like a team wins the Super Bowl and they don't think they could do anything more with that team. They blow it up and start trading off players and letting them go in free agency, and then they rebuild it. And over the course of a couple of years, they have another winning franchise. So I don't know if that's that's my sports analogy for everything that could be going on. But who better to make that point than. And whose word carries more weight than McFoley?
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody listened. Hopefully somebody showed it to Vince.
And the last question for today: your predictions for the Eagles season, and who do you see playing in the Super Bowl?
Oh my God! I'm a diehard Eagles fan, no matter what. Undeniable homer, unapologetic. Go Birds!
Go Birds!
But I could see. First year with the new coach, new system. Even though our quarterback only played in 4 games last year, this is really kind of like a rookie season. Last year he had no OTAs, he had no preseason. Those last 4 games that Jalen Hurts, played were glorified preseason games, but with live rounds. That said, he's had a really good offseason. They've had really good joint team practices where you're allowed to run the plays you're really going to play, but no cameras around to record them. That said, I believe first year, first new system, new coach, a lot of new guys. I'll give them an 8-win season to be realistic. And the funny thing is, the way the NFC East is, that might be able to win you the division. I think the Redskins, the Washington football team, they won with a below 500 record, I believe, so something like that. But if they win 8 games, I'd be happy. If they win more, I'll be ecstatic. But I love football. I can't wait for the games to start. Like right now, we're doing this podcast, and I got the NBC feed on. Cowboys and Bucks are coming up soon.
I was wondering what you were watching over there, Meanie. I see all the flashing, and I thought I was at the titty bar for a second. I was like, what is going on in Meanie's house right now, and why am I not there? Making it rain.
Making it rain.
But at the Meanie compound.
Yeah, I watch. It was like, like pro wrestling, you pay to watch the baby faces beat up the heels, and the Cowboy. You pay to watch the heels lose, and the Cowboys are the biggest heels in football.
Yeah.
So hopefully they shit their pants on national TV tonight. So.
Well, we thank you for all of your questions as always. Don't forget to tweet at us using the hashtag AskMeanie at Mind of the Meanie. Blue Meanie, go ahead and give everybody your socials and tell everybody where they can support the show and support the Blue Meanie.
If you would like to follow me, why not? You're listening to the podcast. Give it a try. All across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitter. At Blue Meanie BWO. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Blue Meanie, where you can find yourself some very swell t-shirts like the BWO shirt. If you would like to support the podcast, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Mind of the Meanie. You can also follow Mind of the Meanie across all forms of social media at Mind of the Meanie on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Collar and Elbow brand The wrestling brand, my good friend Al Snow. Oh, fuck, he's in the fucking green room.
Oh, God damn it. We did it again. And you know what? We talked about this before the fucking show went on the air. And I said to myself, Adam, Al Snow's in the green room. We have to make sure we get to him before the end of the show. And we talked about it. We had this conversation. We gave him chips and dip. And fuck, we forgot again. God damn it. Every week, man.
We're getting stretched,
dude. I'm going to get fired, dude.
We're going to get
fired.
Stretched.
Josh is going to be like, you're an asshole. And you're fired.
He's got some skin in this game too. He's kind of forgotten to help us get Al when. It's so disrespectful.
Oh God, all of us. It's just fucking terrible. I promise next week, guys. I promise that next week we're gonna have Al Snow on our show. So, God damn it, we're the worst, man. We're the absolute fucking worst.
Even though we've been no help to Al Snow, support him. ColinElbowBrand.com, promo code Meanie. Save 10%, and so he can, stop eating so he can live off of more than our catering, which isn't much. But.
You know what, Meanie? Now that speaking of catering and some of the different food that'll be around, autumn is in the air. The pumpkins are in the patch, and our friends at Manscaped are here to make sure you don't carve your pants pumpkins when you're grooming. If you know what I'm saying. Make sure you're keeping things fresh this fall with the leaders in male grooming and their brand new 4th generation performance package. Boys, get ready for a cuffing season like no other. Are you ready to take the leap into fall with Manscaped? Join the 2 million men worldwide using Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping by using the promo code Meanie20. It's time to bundle up with the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0. Inside the package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Meanie, I'll tell you now, I'm 36 years old. I'm going to be getting into my 40s pretty soon. I'm closer to my 40s than my 20s. I'm getting ready for work in the morning, and my beautiful wife, Courtney, says to me, Jesus Christ, look at the ear hair coming out of your ear. Your nose hair is blending in with your mustache. Trim that shit up. You look like a Yeti. And I think to myself, I'm going, what the hell am I going to do here? And I quick grab my Manscaped Performance Package 4.0, and I clean my shit up, and I look absolutely gorgeous. I look like Jason Momoa. And while results may vary, you can still keep yourself looking fresh, clean, and having great smelling balls. I mean, what about how have your experience has been with this, Meanie?
Dude, you just touched on a personal level with the ear and nose hair. I just recently turned 48. Which is 60 in mean years. But yeah, seriously, I use the ear, nose, and the ear and nose trimmer. It works fantastic. It gets in the spots. I trimming up the ears, trimming up the nose, and then also, even though you're supposed to use it for the undercarriage, I use the weed whacker for I'll trim up my beard. But
you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Gotta do what you gotta do. But hey, the product that a lot of people don't talk about is you have a foot spray that's awesome. I was blessed with my mom's good hair, but her horrible feet. And at the end of a long day of walking around and my dog's howling, hop in the shower, take a nice hot shower, soap up the feet, go in bed, spray that little, it's got green tea in it, and it's a really good foot spray. They got all their products are quality. They give you a really nice carrying case for them. Very sharp looking carrying case. Manscaped has been put out a quality product, man. I use them, all day, every day, every week. Whether I need to or not.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. You use that generic razor that you get, or the beard trimmer, and the chances are you're gonna nick up your balls, man. You're gonna cut yourself. You're going to get stubble. It's going to grow back, and it's going to be gnarly looking because you cut yourself, so now you got scars on your balls, and that's just never a good thing, man. I'll tell you what. Like I said, I'm a little bit bushier around Little John and the East Side boys down here, and in order to keep them, keep the crunk juice flowing, you got to make sure that you have some confidence, and that is what Manscaped has done for me. It's given me an easy cut, an easy trim, and everything looks fantastic. And on top of that, my wife is happy because she doesn't look at me like I'm gross anymore. So first of all, the new Performance Package 4.0, like I said, it includes the new Lawnmower 4.0. So if you're looking to cozy up this fall, this trimmer is absolutely essential. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. It also gives you the ability to turn on the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when you need it for a more precise shave. Plus, it's waterproof, so you can do it in the shower. Yeah. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker to chop your worst weeds top up in your nose and your ear, which is perfect for guys like us because we're always got shit coming out all over the place. Their nose and ear hair trimmer uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system to provide proprietary skin-safe technology to help prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate little holes there. Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formulations, their crop preserver ball deodorant. Everyone knows pumpkin spice lattes and ball deodorant go hand in hand. Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formations with their crop preserver ball deodorant. Then after trimming the pumpkin patch and whacking the leaves, give your balls a boost and use the Crop Reviver. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts for their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Get comfy on the home and on the go this season. So like we said, get 20% off with free shipping using the promo code MEANIE20. That's MEANIE20 at manscaped.com. It's 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code MEANIE20 at manscaped.com. Make your balls a priority this fall. Choose Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. And Meanie, I got to tell you, my balls... Me and my balls, thank you for allowing me to co-pilot the show again this week. Friends, thank you so much for allowing me to do this. Don't forget to follow me on social media. I'm at ThisIsGoober. You can also listen to my home program, Foundation Radio, at foundationradio.net. You can find me anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. Got a lot of really cool interviews coming up, including one I'm really excited about that's non-wrestling related. That's going to be a big deal, so I can't wait to share that with you. Awesome. Let's also give some love to Josh Chernoff out there. So says Chernoff. Go ahead and give him a follow all across socials and make sure we follow him there. And Blue Meanie, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much for having me again. And for the Blue Meanie, I am your temporary tour guide and stepdaddy extraordinaire, Adam Bernard. And we will see you again next week on The Mind of the Meanie. Bye.
Blue World Order. The world of MLW radio never stops.